the way that we want to play. And even when guys are out, their preparation allows them to meet the challenge, meet the opportunity. And I'm grateful. That's what tonight was. It was playing against a really good team, locking into our game plan, discipline. And we went out and executed on both ends of the floor. Fun to watch.
With Zion, there are so many different accolades, so many different directions. What impresses you most about how he handles the pressure of the spotlight, of not having CJ or BI tonight, of having so many eyeballs on him and expectations at all times?
Yeah, I told him tonight in the locker room that he was a monster. He carried us. He continued to make the right plays over and over again. When we needed a bucket, we put the ball in his hands, and he got to the basket. He got to the free throw line. He was flying around on both ends of the floor. 4 steals, 2 blocks. Defensively, he's in the right spots. Just impressive to see.
Yeah, you mentioned the steals and the blocks. How impressive has it been just to see his defensive activity go up the way it has probably maybe the last week or so?
Well, I continue to say it's really about our team. We talk about the 10-game increments. Our last 10 games, even before tonight, our defense was ranked second in those 10 games. Z's a big part of that. All of our guys collectively being on the same page, guarding the ball, doing all of the things that we're talking about, and then finishing the possessions with rebounds. So once again, my hat's off to Z. We're putting a lot on his shoulders right now, and he's carrying us.
And is that kind of what you expect from the great ones, right? When their big-time teammates go out, they step up and kind of lift up the rest of the guys?
Absolutely. It's what we talk about is sort of what we teach. And Zion, Brandon, CJ, all of those guys are capable of having big nights. But I love the fact that they continue to make the right plays. They get their teammates involved, and you can see collectively across the board, guys are scoring, we're moving, we're cutting, we're setting screens, we're getting each other open. It's fun basketball to watch, at least from my spot.
Just hit it on a little bit, but 74 in the first half, what allowed you guys to get in that flow?
It was really our ability to get stops, continue to contest shots. They came out early and threw the ball in to Siakam, and we made some adjustments on him, but it was really forcing those guys to take tough shots, keep them out of our paint, take care of the basketball. I thought we did a great job of that in the first half. But our defense fuels our offense. And so it's something that we'll continue to work on. But tonight, I thought we did a solid job across the board.
14, 9, and 8 for Dyson. What did you think about what he did off the bench for you?
He was huge for us. It's funny watching him play. He's just getting better and better the more that he gets time. He's poised. He makes really good plays. I mean, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, like you said, 14 points, close to a triple-double from a 19-year-old young man. It's impressive.
What did you think, like, I know you want to talk about team defense, but of Z's block, dunk, steal, dunk, and the timing of that as Toronto was kind of coming back in it?
That was a huge moment in the game where I think they had cut it to maybe 13, 14 points, and sort of time score situation, Z just knew, all right, I need to take over the game, and he did that, and he did it on both ends. We know that his athletic ability offensively is impressive, but to go up and get some of those blocks, to grab the rebound, to take it full court, to get to the basket, get to the foul line, those are things that great players do.
And how big was it for JV to have a night like he had? I think 16 and 13 for him. I know it's hard sometimes with how teams are, trying to go offensively with you guys. But how big is it for him to still have these kind of nights?
It's big. It's huge for his confidence. He's had a few rough games where he hadn't been able to get going quite like he wants to. But JV is a pro. Doesn't miss practice. He tries to play as many games as he can, and he's always ready. He's a team guy. We love having him, love being around him. And tonight he had an opportunity to have a big night, and he did, rebounding the ball. We want him to shoot more, which he did, and good to see some shots go in for him.
3 straight 20-point games for Trey Murphy. You talked about players stepping up in the absence of others. Do you feel he's taking a little bit of a leap as a sophomore? And what do you feel about his partnership with Zion and the pressure it puts on defenses, having someone who could put so much pressure at the rim, and then the other guy puts so much pressure from behind the arc?
Yeah, it's impressive. Trey puts the work in. Trey and Coach Corey Brewer, they're watching film together. They're working on different aspects of his game. I love the fact that he's shot faking and just straight line driving, going to finish over guys now. So he's adding another dimension to his game. But with his ability to spread the floor, it allows Zion to operate in the paint. And he knows when he kicks it out to those guys, he's just trusting that they'll make the next play. And Trey is having some huge nights for us.
After Herb's injury, can you give us any update on what's moving forward with him?
I don't have any updates at the moment.
And just big picture, this is the first time the team's been 5 games over 500 since 2017-18. You talked coming into the season about expectations of saying, hey, we want to be better than we were last year. We're not just going to be satisfied with that. And just being at this point, despite so many guys being injured, so many different lineups, just can you speak to the adversity you guys have dealt with and being at this point now?
Yeah. This is all God. Just being a blessing to our team. Even when guys go out, I've said it before, all of our guys, they buy in. We try to make sure that we continue to communicate about preparation and life. And, I'm blessed and fortunate to be able to coach these guys and be around our staff. So when guys go down, I've said it before, we don't look at it as an obstacle. For us, it's an opportunity to go out and continue to grow as a team, continue to build, and our expectations are high. We're not there yet, but we're continuing to build towards where we want to be. Okay, thank you.
Y'all put up 74 in the first half. Just what do you think allowed the offense to get flowing like that?
Our defense, transition, and just getting in the gaps, driving and kicking, and our shooters were on today.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you to grade your defense, but how did the bounce feel?
Why aren't you going to ask that? Tax it. It's fine. I'm playing. I'm sorry.
But 4 steals, 2 blocks. I mean, how did it just feel on that end tonight for you?
Felt like I was moving my feet very well. Some of those blocks I was able to get because whether it was Dyson or Herb or Trey, like sliding their feet, forcing the player to alter their shot, I was able to get those blocks. And I feel like collectively as a group, we just played very well on defense.
How fun is it for you to play with an elite shooter like Trey Murphy?
Oh, I love it. We looking at Trey all the time in a huddle or when we out on the court, like, I'm going to find you. You just know. It may not look like it, but I'm going to find you.
Just the sequence, I think they cut it to 11 late, and that's when it's block, dunk, steal, dunk. I think you got another steal after the timeout. What did that sequence feel like, and what was kind of just going through your mind in that part?
Just make a play. Got the basket, and then it was kind of sprint back on defense because they were pushing it. And I kind of saw his eyes because we went and double-teamed OG. And I was able to get the steal and make a play. The thought process was, let's make a play. And I was able to make the play.
Willie said that he told you in the locker room that he said several times in here, you carried the team tonight. Did you feel anything different with having Brandon and CJ kind of out tonight that you were going to have to do just a little bit more?
I mean, when you have 2 players like that out, you are going to see and feel a difference. But I give Coach praise all the time on it. At the beginning of the season, beginning of training camp, the conditioning test wasn't nothing physical during training camp. It was just stay ready. If you stay ready, you won't have to get ready. So when your name is called in situations like this, I mean, Trey, Herb, Jose, especially Dyson, they've all stepped up.
Yeah, actually, this after the San Antonio game a week or 2 ago, but I feel like it's warranted again tonight. Do you feel like you've started to tap into a different part of your game? You're starting to feel more like the player you used to being when you're on the court now?
From a ball handling perspective, yes. Because like I said, when you have players like CJ and BI out, you got to pick up where they affect the game. And I just want to thank Coach for trusting me to kind of be myself, and the rest of the coaching staff and my teammates. If they don't trust me, then it may look a little different for me.
And how different does it feel, just as far as how quickly you're reading the game compared to the last time you played? Because there are a few times where you were just driving through double teams. You saw the man rotating to the corner. You still made the extra pass. Just how quickly are you processing things now compared to the last time you played?
I mean, I tell people all the time, I was trained to be a point guard because, my stepdad told me if you don't grow past a certain height, you're going to have to play point guard. So when I'm making those reads, that's just been instilled in me. Like I said, if 3 people are trying to close in on me, 2 people got to be open somewhere. So when you got shooters like the shooters we have, you just find them, whether it's me passing and it's the person catching and passing again. It's just seeing the game.
Hey, Zion, it's a game one-on-one for you, but was this one like the most fun you had in the game tonight, just as far as just everything that happened?
I'll probably say it's a game where I've expressed it like more in a long time, but I'm always having fun when I just express it different games. I express it differently. Like some games I may be having time of my life, I probably won't smile that much that game. There are other games where I'm smiling a lot because that's what the moment calls for. And sometimes it's just looking at the environment of the team and what needs to be done to get them going.
Tonight, 12 free throws, right? So it seems like when you get to the line,
You're funny.
when you get to the line, it seems like you're more aggressive, and it opens up everything for everybody else. How does it feel when you do get to the line and can make more plays?
I mean, like you said, it opens up the game. When those fouls are getting called, now the players that are guarding me, now I have 2 fouls, now I have 3 fouls, so they can't be as aggressive. And then there's that moment of hesitation where the help defender either has to come all the way over, go out to my shooter, or even stand still. And in that moment, I make my read.
You had several moments tonight off a rebound, off a turnover, like really pushing the pace, getting downhill. Was that transition play an emphasis for the team as a whole this game, or was it something you decided, like, hey, I'm seeing this opportunity, let me push the pace?
If you go back to especially my college tapes, even when Lonzo was here, I like to get out in transition. So, Coach did make an emphasis that if you get the rebound, just push it. So when I would get the rebounds or when my teammates would throw it to me, push it. Because when I'm pushing it, force the defense to have to make quick decisions. And when you see somebody just pushing the ball on the court, your first thought is, let me get back. And you got a shooter like Trey just kind of trailing behind, and you just find him.
I asked you, I think a week or 2 ago, about the developing chemistry between you and JV and figuring out the spacing. There was a lot of really good interior passing going on tonight. Do you feel it's continuing to grow, and how is your comfort level with it?
It's definitely growing. I know we still have some things we want to work on, but that's just because we want to get to a point where we feel like it's unstoppable. But like I said in previous interviews, as the season goes on, as we kind of fill the game out and see each other kind of pick our spots, we're going to learn.
You mentioned guys that stepped up, and you mentioned Dyson specifically. I mean, you were a 19-year-old rookie not that long ago. I mean, how impressive is it to see just how poised he is and just kind of the way he's been able to produce, in more minutes lately?
It's big time. It's big time because I remember when I first came to the league, my friends would be like, man, what is it like? What is it like? And it's like, this isn't high school. This isn't college. Like, Dyson's 19. You may have somebody else on the opposing team, 28 or 30, like 2, 3 kids. They have a family. And this is our job. Like, yeah, we love basketball, but at the end of the day, like, it's how everybody feeds their family. So when you get thrown out there, it's not always like kicks and giggles. It's real life. So to see Dyson getting out there and stepping up like that and to be 19, I mean, as you watched, it's unfolding in front of our eyes. He's just getting better game by game.
I just wanted to ask you again about the back tattoo and just the meaning behind it, and just what made you get it and just the meaning behind it.
So yeah, I guess for the people that don't know, I have a tattoo across the top of my back that says Mount Zion, and it's like Mount. It went to T. It's like a big cross that goes kind of from the top of my neck down to like my lower spine, and then Zion on the other side. And that tattoo it took me a long time to kind of get that tattoo because I wanted to make sure that I wanted it, because once it's there, it's there forever. Like, even if you get lasers, I mean, you still kind of see it. So I wanted to make sure. I prayed over it, talked to my mother about it, and she asked the same thing you asked, like, why do I want it, and what is it going to mean to me? And for me, from the moment I got it, I felt like it was a kind of like an added aura to myself. Like, just if somebody's watching me from the back, then they can still feel it. I feel like it's like an invisible force there for me. And what it means, I mean, my grandmother that passed away when I was 1, so I never really got a chance to talk with her or interact. She helped my mom come up with my name, so it's a biblical reference as well. So I mean, it holds a lot of, special meaning to me. I mean, 8 hours. It took 8 hours, but I mean.
Was it one session or?
Oh yeah, I was not about to do that in 2 sessions. But yeah, I'll probably go on Instagram or Twitter and give the tattoo artist his respect, because, I mean, that was a part of the journey as well. I'm sorry, Matt, if I'm going, but it's part of the journey as well. When I was talking to the artist about it, he understood where I was coming from. He was a hooper as well, so I had loved that. And he understood the spiritual aspect that I wanted and why I wanted the tattoo. So, I mean, everybody, just the artist, myself, my mom, my grandmother, and friends and family, that's what this tattoo's for.
And just a big picture question for the season. You guys are now 5 games over 500. First time this franchise has done that since 2017-18. Been a long time. And you guys all talked about having expectations coming into this year. And despite that, you really haven't had the team that you thought you were going to have, right, because all of the injuries. So just what does it say about this team that y'all are at this point, despite everything y'all have dealt with throughout the season?
I've said it in previous interviews. We got a lot of depth on this team. We are a special team. And I think as the season goes on, I mean, the world will get to see that, because we'll learn each other and we'll figure it out.
Hey, Zion, the other day we asked you to sort of reflect on your first 100 games. What are your goals for this second 100 games?
I mean, stay healthy. I mean, when I'm not able to play the game I love, that itself is sickening. This is what I love to do. I love playing the game of basketball. I love coming in this arena, seeing kids look up to me and thinking, man, I used to be that kid, looking up to other players. The fans showing a lot of love. My teammates just living my dream. So when I'm injured, I can't do that. So I guess that's the main thing for me, just stay healthy.
Awesome. Thanks, E.
You guys have a great night.
Yeah, he made me pay for it. Of course.
I know one thing Willie talks about a lot is playing .5 basketball. Just how comfortable you play in that that system with quick decision making.
Yeah, no, that's he's big on that, and that's how I like to base my game as well on quick catches, making quick decisions. So we got players out there that really good with the ball in their hands. That once they give it up, you have to make the right decision and do it quick. So for me, it's either shoot it, pass it, or drive it. And it's just gotta be quick. So I think that's something that I've been working on and trying to be good at this year.
You ever seen anything like what Zion just did?
I've never seen anything like that. That guy's a freak of nature. He really is, crazy in the stuff he does. And, he turned the game around for us, when they started coming back. And, what do you have? 33, 10, 5, 4 steals. That's a crazy game. And it doesn't surprise me because, I've seen him do it. But, that guy's a freak of nature.
How more comfortable do you feel overall with your game, compared to a month ago right now?
I'm very confident, and it's only building more and more each game. And the coaches are putting trust in me as well, putting me out there, giving me the minutes, and letting me run the team with the ball as well. So for me, I'm feeling comfortable, and I want to keep building, keep making the right decision, keep playing hard. But I'm grateful for the opportunity I've been getting. I want to take it with both hands.
Yeah, one of the advantages of playing in the G League like you did was it's just a similar style to NBA. Obviously not the same, but just how much do you feel like that's allowed you to adapt quickly to playing in the NBA and really figure out your style and establish yourself?
Yeah, definitely. The G League helps. Just playing, the different court lengths, playing the time, the game clock, and, just the NBA style, base play as well. Helps me transition over quicker and coming to a team with some really good players on it as well. I've got to adapt to playing with these guys as well and playing off the ball a bit more. But I'm still learning every day, and I'm taking it all in. Watching a lot of film where I can be better at. But I think playing in the G League has definitely helped me transition to the NBA really well.
And defensively, I think that's what a lot of people say. It's hard for young guys to come in and defend on a high level in the NBA. I guess what's allowed you to do that so far?
Yeah, for me, I base my game on my defense. Being able to stay in front of people, contest shots, get steals, and that's something that I enjoy doing as well. So I think that's the one thing that keeps me on the floor, and my offensive game is coming along, and I've had to guard some really tough opponents, and I like taking that challenge, but I sit down before every game and watch film with Coach Ryan on who the matchup will be, and just look at what they like to do, and just take strengths away, because these great players, they're so good at so many things that you just want to force them into what their weaknesses are. And for me, it's just about knowing my personnel, knowing who I'm guarding, and just trying to make them uncomfortable.
The Raptors are a pretty unique team in the fact of how they choose to cover teams defensively. They can be pretty versatile. They switch a lot more than other teams. What's that challenge like as a point guard, just seeing different coverages thrown at you throughout the course of the game?
Yeah, for sure. The Raptors are, they got size at every position. They're very good at, deflections and, denying passes and stuff like that. So playing against a team like this is different to, playing against, someone like Golden State. So, these guys, they're very well drilled defensively, and, I think we did a really good job of moving the ball, getting it to Zion, letting him go to work, spacing the floor, and, just getting out in transition, is something we're very good at, and it's hard to defend us when we're in transition. So, I think playing against the Raptors, who are a very unique team in the way they play, the easiest way is to get out in transition, and I think we did that well tonight.
At the beginning of the season, you scored some DNPs, and now you almost had a triple-double tonight. How do you stay confident?
Yeah, I just got to stay ready. I put in the work. Before practices, after practices. I just got to stay ready, because opportunity will come. Injuries. Guys going down with sicknesses and stuff like that. So just got to stay ready, and when the opportunity comes, grab it and take it with both hands. And the last few weeks we've had a few guys out with those injuries and sicknesses. So I've stepped up and wanted to help the team and play my game. But obviously, the start of the season, people can get down on themselves, but for me, it's just about getting in the gym and putting in the work.
You said my offensive game is coming along. You made another three-pointer tonight. I think you're just under 50% on threes this season. That wasn't something that people, when they talked about the draft, said that's going to be a big strength of yours. Yeah. I mean, how do you see how much you've developed your confidence, or just overall your shot from the offseason until now?
Yeah, that's been my main focus. From the off season to now, every day I've pretty much been in the gym with Fred, putting in work. So, he's really, helped me change my shot. Helped me, be able to, get the fundamentals down. Be able to get my shot off quicker, and you know, he knows everything about shooting. He knows what I need to do. And for me, it's just about, you know, putting in the work ethic every day and, you know, listening to him and trusting him. So he's been great for me. And, you know, the shots have been falling for me, and it makes my life easier playing with guys like, you know, Zion, BR, CJ, who draw so much attention that, you know, they pass the ball, I get the open shots, I just got to knock them down. So, you know, I'm confident in my shot, and that's something, you know, I'm really happy with this year.
I mean, we're basically like, you know, a month and a half into the season, and, you know, you want to keep it up, obviously. But, I mean, how do you feel about just the progress that you've made? I mean, is that something that you feel really good about in terms of, or is that something that you don't expect to be able to make that much of a jump this quickly?
Nah, for me, you know, I'm happy with, you know, the progress I've been making, and, you know, I think there's still a long way to go, but, you know, I'm just getting more confident and comfortable every game, you know, playing with these guys, and, you know, my teammates trust me and my coaches trust me, which helps me go out there and play my game, and obviously, you know, from the start of the season to now, I feel like I've gotten a lot better and just found my way in the system, and, you know, I think, you know, moving forward that I can really, you know, take big strides from here and, you know, be even better.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
What was it like watching whatever that was that Zion did to them tonight?
Not many words to say. I'll say that. Looked like they were helping a lot. Well, they weren't helping a lot at first, and I was like, it's not a great idea. Kind of a force. You're not going to be able to guard him with one person. So, yeah, he was very aggressive tonight, and I like that a lot out of Z.
Yeah, and for you, you know, he was saying in the huddle, he's telling you, I'm going to find you, like even when you don't think I'm going to find you. You know, how good is that for you as a you know, really good shooter to have a driving kick guy like that?
Really good. I mean, guys have to help. Like, you're not, like I said before, you're not going to be able to guard him with one guy. So when my guy comes, he sees me, and it makes it a lot easier for him because my guy's going to be thinking twice on whether or not he should go or stay. So it's a good little pairing that we have. Hopefully we can have it for a little while.
Do you think he was throwing it off the backboard to himself on that alley-oop?
No, but I definitely was prepared for it. But then the way it came off with a little bit of heat, so I was like, all right, I'm going to just try to get this off the backboard because I don't think I'm going to be able to get this lob. But, you know, I love the idea, though. I love the idea.
And just, everybody knows how much of an offensive force he is, but what's it been like just seeing his defensive activity, the blocks, the steals, all that kind of stuff?
Man, he was a monster today. It was probably one of his best all-around games that I've seen. And, you know, I watch a lot of basketball even from his rookie and sophomore year. So, I mean, just super proud of him and the work that he's put in because I know you guys criticize him a lot on his defense. So, hopefully he got more than a B+ today. I would again.
And just what did you think about that sequence where they cut it to 11 and he goes, well, I think it was block, dunk, steal, layup, and then another steal, you put the tip back dunk and just kind of put the game away?
Yeah, just keep playing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's tough to go up 30 on the team with how much time was it? Like 14 minutes left, basically, since it was 2 minutes in the third and then the whole of the fourth quarter. It's hard being up that much, especially with a team that plays really hard at all times. So, you know, we just had to keep our foot on the gas for the most part.
Trey, can you get a sense of how much fun Zion is having now? He showed a lot of emotion after that little stretch there, but do y'all sense it in them?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. He's having a lot of fun out there. I mean, you could tell from when we were in the playoffs and he was just like on the bench, he just looked like he was just itching to get out there, be out there with us. And, you know, I know he's just enjoying himself and so glad that he can be out there again, you know, not sitting on the bench watching.
I mean, another game with you scoring 20+ points. When you go to the rim, is it at all times you're trying to dunk on somebody?
I normally do, but there was 2 drives today I did not try to dunk it, and it did not result in what I wanted to. So that's on me. It's probably like 90% of the time.
It feels like every other day we're talking about your progression, your comfort level, and how much work you've put in. But, you know, 3 straight 20-point games. What do you feel like is the next step in your game? Obviously, right now, consistency is important. But just to grow as a player, where do you feel like you want to put in more work?
Biggest thing is definitely consistency. And It really depends, in all honesty. Like at the end of the day, I want to stay within my role and make sure I'm not trying to do anything that's gonna hurt the team. But also trying to be the best player I can be. Working in that second level. I think I'm good on the first and the third level. But I need to get a little bit more, acclimated on that second level in the mid-range area, and I feel like I could really complete and round out my game, and also a little bit of playmaking too.
You recently talked about the challenges as a rookie of, being out on the court and trying to understand the speed of the game and just everything that's going on. Dyson almost had a triple-double tonight in 31 minutes. I mean, yeah, 14, 8, 9. I was just going to ask you just what your reaction. I guess you didn't realize that he was that close to a triple-double, but for him to play that well and to make that kind of contribution across the board as a 19-year-old rookie, what did you think of what he's been doing tonight and lately?
That really threw me off. I can't lie. He was hooping. I mean, it felt like he was hooping for sure, but he almost had a triple-double at 19 years old. Come on now. Who's really doing that? Like, you haven't heard of a lot of people doing that in recent years, but he's a really special talent, and very proud of Dyson, the progression that he's had, because I was there at his draft workout, and what I saw in June or July and what I see now in December is just night and day. He's really been in the gym. He's really been working, and super proud of him.
Was there a certain point where you noticed that just his poise was kicking into gear, just the way he just seems like he plays really calm? You would never know if you didn't know anything about him that he's as young as he is.
Yeah, no, you could see that even from the first time watching him play. Like watching him in the draft workout, very calm. At some points, you would think he's what's the word I'm looking for? He's like almost too calm at some points, and it's just like, all right, like what is he doing? And then as you get to see him play more, you just realize like he's really just poised, and it just seems like he's been there before.
You guys, 5 games over 500. First time this franchise has done that since 17-18. I guess, what does it say about you guys that you're at this point and you're this good despite not having any real consistency with the lineup and not having a group that you thought you were going to have coming into the season?
Like I've said many times before, we have a really deep team, and we have the next man up mentality. We got a lot of guys that can play, and also got to give a shout out to the coaching staff as well for putting us in the positions to do that. But, I mean, we're 5 games over 500. In my honest opinion, probably should be around 7 or 8. Is what it is, but we'll make that back up as the season progresses.
Good.
When you guys are kind of depleted like that, do you expect to win?
Expect to win. I mean, we expect to win every single time we play. I don't going into it like, all right, I don't know what's gonna happen. I expect to win every single time. We're gonna compete at a high level, and that's about it. Thank you. Yep. Yo.